This is EA Sports FC 25. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the latest entry in the very long-running football/soccer simulation. Depending on where you're from, you get a different naming convention, of course. And this year has some slight variations over what we've seen from previous years, but it is very much something that does, I guess, play it safe to some degree in terms of big changes to the overall experience for the game. There are definitely some big visual change-ups this year, and I'll be diving in and talking about this. I should also mention that this was formerly known as FIFA for many years, and then obviously they had to rebrand due to FIFA getting a little greedy there, so there is that big name change to EA Sports FC. I don't know how many more years I need to keep kind of mentioning that for people, but I do think it's just a cool thing to mention, just in case some people have taken a number of years off and come into things being like, huh, what's going on? So I'm sure at some point we'll eventually move on from that branding, but it's a good point to kind of fit in there. Oh! Anyways, there we go. What a goal, what a shot. So the big thing here, outside of the visuals, which we'll get to in a sec, is the FCIQ. So this is an overall of the tactical foundations for more realistic collective movements. So they're using real-world data, like they do for literally everything, and tactics through player roles. So the idea here is, instead of specifically focusing on little individual elements, I mean they do, but it is more of an idea of improving the dynamics for how the teams and players kind of move in relativity to each other and cohesion to each other in comparison to actual real-world movement settings and player strategy setups as they make their way through the field based on their positions. And there's a large selection of different positions that the game keeps in mind in terms of roles, how players fit into those roles and how they perform them, which I think does kind of change a little bit of the the movement, the spacing, and everything like that of the players and how they kind of move along the field. This is an interesting dynamic for sure. So let's dive in and talk about the visuals. We actually have two different visual settings here. So we can go to the settings category, and we can go to game settings, and then we can move over to graphics. So graphics, we have enriched visuals, and we have favor resolution. So generally, well, actually, what we have here is a 60 FPS experience across the board. But when you're doing the enhanced visuals, this is an experience that's like a dynamic 4K, and it provides ray-traced ambient occlusion and some additional graphic features, which I was kind of reading into, little bits of shadow work and stuff like that, which are kind of present too in the favor resolution mode, but not to the degree. And then favor resolution, which is what we're going to here, is a native 4K resolution at 60 FPS. So it, to me, is a bit of a bummer for sure that they have yet to... I kind of wanted to pass that over. Oh, he still got it. I still wanted, I was hoping they would embrace a higher frame rate, like 120 FPS mode. That still isn't the case. I hope they work to that. But that does seem to be kind of a big thing that all of... Yeah, you... player crowd going there. That does seem to be a very good sort of push that all of the EA Sports sporting games are doing this year, is to provide a ray trace mode or a better, more impressive lighting mode in all of their games. We saw it with college football, which is actually American football, and we saw it with Madden and stuff like that. I'm very curious to see if NHL is going to be doing something to those lines as well, which I know isn't necessarily relevant, but it is something to just kind of mention that this has been sort of an across-the-board sort of thing in regards to providing this new resolution mode and option. So it seems to be a bit of an engine change, which is also crazy because Madden actually had 120 FPS mode, and then they got rid of it this year. So that was a bit of a change up. So it's interesting to see the choices here. So obviously we're seeing the native 4K resolution, which it's a little sharper in terms of like picture fidelity, but I think I basically gave that away. That was terrible. But I do think you can kind of go with either mode, and kind of in my opinion, the lighting of the enriched high fidelity kind of thing with the ray tracing is sort of worth it. It's like, it's not as if you're losing any sort of real intensive, meaningful, like resolution is resolution, right? But I think we are, to some degree, at diminishing returns, and just having a bit of a lighting improvement actually goes a long way. So there's also HDR support, as per usual. You can play this game locally for up to 4 players. You can do online co-op for 2. You can do online multiplayer up to 22 players. And yeah, it's sort of just, again, your very typical kind of entry in the series of, well, EA Sports FC. That's the biggest thing. So visually, I did think it was good to dive in and talk about this, because it is, to me, a big change up, just because visually, like, it does look better each year, and they add new things and they improve new stuff from a visuals perspective, but like, it does look quite the same after you get that like next gen upgrade. They do, at least this gen, really seem to be coasting on things, but that is a meaningful visual change, in my opinion, is having these 2 options, which is why I really wanted to highlight that within this discussion of the game and what it offers. So there you go for that aspect of it. Moving past that, there are various modes. So we've got career manager or career player. There's also, like, it's about the same, right? You kind of do the journey, you do the things, you make your character, you go on the path that you want to go on. It's a very typical, usual thing in this game, in this series. Now you can rewrite past stories of icons, and then there's regular real-world events and storylines based on those real-world events and those things that happen, and you can impact them within the campaign career setup. So it's just trying to add some new content, quote-unquote, in order to change up the dynamics of gameplay a little bit more. Women's will also be included in career, with a push to actually provide real situations in terms of how that's simulated and the types of events that can go on. So if you are into the women's side of football, soccer, you now actually have proper league options and whatnot within the player career type option to enjoy and work through, which I think, honestly, since the women's teams and stuff have been here for a long time, at this point, it is kind of weird that they didn't do that sooner, to be honest. It's a little, I don't know, I find it a little odd, but, everyone's going to have different thoughts on that for sure. So that's basically the big elements of that sort of aspect, like what's different there. We've got clubs, so it's like a club social mode, so that there's like an avatar kind of at everything, so you can do these, like it's like a club kind of thing in scenarios. That's interesting, I guess. So that's something that's a little different this time around. FIFA Ultimate. FIFA Ultimate is where you do your cards. Like, yeah, I mean, no self-respecting sports game doesn't have a card-based system where you build up a team and, people are really into the card-based thing. I know, that's not really necessarily my sort of thing, but I kicked too hard. No, I got it. Okay, I was kind of like wondering if I had kicked it a little too hard, and I was like, oh no, but no, we're good. So that is, the same as usual. A big change up is Volta is gone. So Volta's been a thing where it's sort of like tight, smaller team-based, kind of like, little street football kind of thing that's been there for a number of games. So maybe that one wasn't quite as popular and well loved, I suppose. I don't know, something like that. So it's essentially been replaced by this new mode that they're calling Rush, which is a 5v5 mode. And the idea there is smaller setups, tighter action. So you could see why they're trying to come up with like a smaller, more deadly kind of fun. I don't know, deadly is the right word, but a little bit of a tighter way to play the game, right? That's the idea. They're like smaller, more action packed with less players, and so you can kind of get an idea of what they're going for. And obviously, Volta wasn't taking off like they wanted it to, and they switched things up and went with that. Well, the idea there was kind of good, but the player wasn't running fast enough. Tournaments, fighting for cups, everything like that. Seasons and seasonal play. Obviously, the games, all sports games, most games these days, evolve over time. They get changes, they get adjustments. There's training modes. There's kickoff, which is like, your play now stuff. So you can play against people online, or you can do local stuff, or you can play against the AI, or you can... it's very, like, there's new stuff, but, like, it is very, kind of, to some degree, been there, done that on things. I guess you could say, oh, like, what else did they add for new modes and stuff? And I guess to some degree, you'd be right there, but it is playing it, like, pretty safe to what we've seen in the past for like the previous year. So it's a little, there's nothing like wildly different. The standout thing, which I highlighted, being sort of the way that the AI kind of like moves around and reacts and does stuff, and that's kind of a big thing, but not totally different. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Here's some non-commentary gameplay. I hope I covered everything well.
Substitution for Manchester United. Coming off the pitch, number 20, Diogo Dalot, to be replaced by number 2, Victor Lindelof.
Palmer. Bruno Fernandes has it. Chelsea regaining possession here. Romeo Lavia. But he's certainly not alone. It's looking promising. Dealt with by the goalkeeper. Doing well to win it back. What can they do from here? And the referee blows for full time. Positives for Manchester United. 3 points for them. What did you make of it all?
Well, Derek, it was fairly comfortable at the end because they were tactically superior, had better individuals, and were always a threat going forward. It was a really good performance and a good result as well.
The stage is set and the tension is palpable. 90 minutes of what should be highly entertaining and absorbing football to come. And it would take a very brave person indeed to predict the outcome. What an enticing prospect. All the action coming up next here on EA TV.
Well, the weather really couldn't be any better here today. A very warm welcome to you on this fine day. I'm Guy Mowbray and Sue Smith is alongside me for commentary. We've got action coming up from Major League Soccer. What are we going to get from this one, Sue?
Yeah, cheers, Guy. Well, it's so...
In behind, can he finish? And we haven't had to wait long for the opening goal. It's 1-0.
Well, here's the replay, and he does really well. He takes his man on with ease, but it's poor defending. They're just chasing shadows, and then to leave the keeper in a 2v1 situation, he had absolutely no chance.
They're not getting close enough here. Bit sloppy in possession. Puig. He's beaten his marker here. And it's not missed by that much.
And that's not far away, is it? It's a good effort. They just got to keep going, and I'm sure they'll get the equaliser.
Lorenzo Insigne. Oh, a great chance. Well, he's got two now, and he's playing a starring role here.
Well, here we can see it again, and he shows great ability to get past his man. And as soon as he's through 1v1 with the goalkeeper, he just goes for power and smashes it in the net. It's a quality finish.
Ricky Puig. Working hard to win it back there. Good run. Now, can he pick out the right option? And the ref has played advantage here. Good work to regain possession. He's in here. And the keeper's done really well to keep that out. No stopping him yet. And the ref will surely go to his pocket here. A deliberate action to stop them. And it is going to be a caution.
Yeah, it's a good decision from the ref. I think he knew that it was coming.
Too much on the pass and over the byline for a goal kick. No time to dwell on the ball. What a chance here! And they've got it away. Incredible defending. Promising position, this. A really good interception to take the ball. Joseph Pansel. Well, he's lost the ball, and any chance has gone. Now he could be in trouble here, already on a yellow. And it is no great surprise. Second yellow, it's a red.
He's got to be smarter there. Already on a yellow, you don't put a challenge in like that.
Attention, Stuart Hile. That's Stuart Hile. Please meet your man at
Can he finish? And that has missed by quite a distance. Being pressed here. A little sloppy on the ball there. Insigne. This has to be. Another goal. And surely there's no way they can throw this away now. Absolutely dominant.
Well, here's the replay, and there's nothing the keeper can do, to be honest. Completely exposed 2-on-1, and all he has to do is lay it off for the tap-in. It's far too easy.
And they've got it back now. In behind, can he finish? And another goal. Surely they're home and dry with the win now.
Well, here it is again, and it's shocking defending, you have to say. The keeper's left in an impossible position, and no wonder he's furious. It's a really poor goal to concede.
They've given it away here. Pushing forward, now to make the right choice. Oh, super challenge. He stopped a certain goal.